Hi, this is Mary Thomas
And this is Stephanie Thomas.
from Thomas and Thomas PC, and we have the YouTube channel of the Sales Tax Sisters. This is part 2 of a video that we just started. In the first part of the video, we talked about when you don't charge your client sales or use tax, and you should. Within the context of you being audited, if an auditor comes out and assesses sales tax on your sales, we talked about recourse that you have as it relates to being reimbursed by your client for that, or presenting proof that your client has already remitted the use tax so they can follow up your audit. This is the flip side of that. This is you as the purchaser getting a letter from your vendor saying, hey, we should have charged you sales tax, but we didn't. We want you to reimburse us for the sales tax being assessed by the taxing authority. Or in the alternative, give us access to the proof that the tax is paid so that the taxing authority does not assess that against us. When you get that letter from your vendor, what you're going to do is go in and look and see if in fact you actually did already remit use tax on it. If you remitted use tax on it, then there's no issue. Give them the proof that you did, and the auditor is going to leave them alone. If it's a matter of you simply issuing a resale or exemption certificate of some sort, issue it. And the auditor is going to leave your vendor alone. In the alternative, or you could simply say, you know what, we should have paid tax on this. We have the money, hopefully. Reimburse them, but what's going to happen is that it's not going to just be reimbursement for one transaction. If it's a sample and projection, it's going to be a reimbursement of sales tax for every transaction you had with them for the audit period. Now, with that being said, you as the purchaser, that really is your debt.
Yeah.
It's not something that seller should be paying for you. It really is your debt. And if you tell them, look, for whatever reason, we're not going to play ball, they do have the remedy at law of suing you. Most people don't. I've seen a couple people that did. Yeah. So just be aware that your seller's not supposed to eat your tax debt. That's your debt. You got the benefit of the taxable item or service that was provided. That is your debt. So if you get one of those letters, don't summarily, and I've heard people say, well, they should have taxed me right. It's their problem. No, it's your problem if you did not accrue and remit tax. It's still your debt.
And don't think that you may be getting away with something, because auditors routinely look at sales and purchases, and if they notice that this vendor didn't charge you the appropriate sales tax, that might generate an audit lead on your end, where they're like, okay, this seller didn't charge the appropriate sales tax, and they've not provided me with any proof that use tax was accrued by this customer. This customer may not be accruing use tax on a lot of different things. Let me turn that in for an audit lead. So it's very important for you to be proactive when you're making purchases, especially material purchases, to make sure that the vendor is charging you the appropriate sales tax. If they're not, then you should accrue the appropriate use tax. And just don't think because someone isn't charging you tax that you get a windfall, because you don't. That can come and bite you, not only in terms of your vendor requesting you to pay the sales tax that they should have charged you, but also in terms of an audit of your business, because they look at sales, they look at purchases, and if you're routinely not paying use tax on taxable items, then that will be assessed in your audit too.
And the thing I don't understand, there's a weird phenomenon that's going on that I've seen in an audit we recently did. Was we called a rather large company and said, you know, your vendor's being audited. There are a couple of transactions with your company that appear in this audit. They were being audited at the same time, but the audit of our client was progressing faster than their audit. And they came back and said, well, you know, just bill us. We're not going to issue you the exemption certificate. We're not issuing anybody an exemption certificate. And I thought, you know, that's really, I didn't understand why you would take that stance in terms of if you issue these people, your vendor, the exemption certificate, it's your debt. It falls off of their audit, and you pay the tax within the context of your audit. If that auditor sees that transaction. So I quite frankly didn't understand it, because even if the seller did pay the sales tax, which again was your debt, you don't get the value of that if they don't give you the documentation showing that they actually paid it. So depending on what that relationship is and how that all shakes out, state gets the money twice.
Exactly, which is not what they're supposed to do. But if you say, my vendor, he didn't charge me the correct sales tax, but he has an audit for overlapping periods, and I know it was assessed in his audit. So you don't set it up on my audit as the customer. That's cute. The auditor is not going to do that. They're not going to review any other auditor schedules to find out if sales tax was assessed on a different audit. It's not going to work like that.
You'd have to prove it, and in order for you to prove it, your vendor would have to give you access to their proprietary information, their audit schedules, in order for you to be able to prove that out. So it's very important that you understand exactly what your recourse is, not only as the purchaser, but the seller, as it relates to you didn't charge tax, you should have, and now one or both parties are being audited. So we hope that clears this up. If you have any questions, any comments, drop them down in the box. If you like the video, please thumb us up and consider subscribing. If you've already subscribed, we thank you kindly for it. And I think for us, that is it. As always, you're welcome to visit our website, www.thomaspc.com. Give us a call, drop us a note.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.
Bye.